Today, visuals of Shiromani Akali Dal sad leader Sukhbir Singh Badal were seen as he sat on a wheelchair by the gate with a plaque around his neck and a spear in his hand at the Golden Temple in Punjab's Amritsar. The religious punishment called Tankha in Sikh belief was pronounced for Sukhbir Singh Badal and other leaders of the party by Sri Akal Takht Sahib on Monday. We have with us retired professor and renowned author Amarjit S. Narang, senior editor Chitleen Sethi, and my colleague Sanya Dhingra, who is joining us from Amritsar to discuss this entire issue. Well, I'll begin with you, Mr. Narang, first. What is this punishment and what does it mean for the Akali Dal, the Badals, and Punjab politics?
Well, for Akali Dal, it is a chance for their revival. Maybe certain people are saying that it's going to be the end of them. The Akal Takht has done a little help to them. They have given them a door from which they can re-enter the politics, showing themselves to be clean, quite obedient to the Panth, quite obedient to the Akal Takht, and therefore they have accepted their punishment in a very humiliated manner. So therefore it is an opening for them to rehabilitate, or in a way, some sort of an opening for rehabilitation, both for Badals as well as Akalis.
Can you explain for our viewers this concept of Akal Takht under which the punishment has been pronounced?
See, this is a very long, complex issue. The Akal Takht came into existence after the martyrdom of 5th Guru, when 6th Guru, Guru Hargobind, he thought that now it is time to intervene in politics actively. As far as intervention in politics is concerned for the Sikhs, right from 1st Guru, it has been suggested that because just to tell your viewers, that at the time of the founding of Sikh religion by Guru Nanak Dev, the situation in the country was really apathetic, both socially, politically, and economically. And the position was this, that the intellectual class and the spirituals, particularly the spiritual class, they were either concerned with their own personal salvation or they were at the beck and call of the rulers. So which Guru Nanak found it was not acceptable. At least spiritual people must have their duty towards society also. Their personal salvation is good, it's required, maybe, but their concern for society, because society is also a creation of the Almighty. Guru Nanak always believed that it is not a myth in that sense, it is a creation of it's a creativity of the God. So therefore they should see. And therefore Guru Nanak always spoke in terms of what you can today call politics. He always spoke and he never feared about that speaking, and he faced it also, and it was his guidance to that also. And it is that precedence that every guru did participate in political debate, discussion, socially. But when the question of 5th Guru's martyrdom came, after that it was thought that here is a time to actively intervene in politics if it is so required. So therefore 6th Guru, he wore two swords, one for Miri and other for Piri. Miri means what you call political or social activism, and Piri means spirituality. So he created a sort of a combination of spirituality and politics. Idea was not to gain political power for power. Idea was that politics should be under the control of religion, or let us not say religion, it should be piety. Politics should be a religiously piety affair. And wherever this goes wrong, it should be checked, and if so required, even by force. Idea was not to gain power through force, but if injustice is there and politics is going away totally from spiritual or moral values, let us say more use better word, moral value, then there should be both the interference in terms of, if so required, martyrdom, suggestion, discussion, but if so required, force also. It is that to create that situation, he created a new body which was known as Akal Takht. Now, mind it, Akal Takht is just opposite to the Harmandir Sahib, the Darbar Sahib. Idea is that Darbar Sahib is superior to Akal Takht. Akal Takht is primarily for political, social affairs, and wherever required, that is. So it is all these political decisions, social decisions are taken at Akal Takht because, as I told you, it is a combination of Miri and Piri. So in conceptual terms, it is a fusion of religion and politics. Though its fusion of religion and politics is not in the sense of use of religion for politics
Right.
or politics for religion. No, idea is simply the fusion of politics and religion, that politics takes care of the social affairs, and wherever required, religion interferes in that to bring them on right line. And if so required, also there's an interpretation that for acquisition of power may also be required to do justice, or what you call sarbat ka bhala, because in Sikhism there is the halimi raj. Raj is not for any community; it's for Punjab. So for that purposes, political power may also be required. So it is in that sense that there is use of term miri piri, and therefore edicts are issued from Akal Takht in terms of doing justice or making politics on right lines.
Chitleen, before you ask questions, I would like to ask you first. You wrote about this entire piece. If you could, in brief, tell us what exactly has happened, and at the same time, do you think it is the end of the Badals?
It is too early to say that. Answering your the second part of the question first, whether it is the end of the Badals, because the situation is very fluid right now. How it turns out, how things move in the next few days, is important. Going back, yes, what really has happened is that in July, there is a rebel group which, especially after the elections, after the party did not do well at all in the elections, so there was this rebel group which gave a complaint to the Akal Takht. As Dr. Narang has explained, that the Akal Takht is a place where you go with grievances regarding when you're talking about the Sikh community. So basically, the complaint was that Sukhbir Badal had not been, and they also said that we are included in that decision, that we have not been able to represent the Sikh community properly, and Sukhbir Badal has been responsible for a lot of wrong decisions that have been taken, and due to which consistently politically the people of Punjab are rejecting the Shiromani Akali Dal. And they gave a list of the things that had gone wrong, and the core of the complaint was that Sukhbir Badal had in 2015 had failed as he was the home minister of the state then, and he had failed to book those people who were responsible for the sacrilege of the Guru Granth Sahib. The Guru Granth Sahib is considered to be a living guru by the Sikhs, and the sacrilege of the Guru Granth Sahib is considered to be one of the biggest religious crimes that can be committed. So that number one, a charge against was that he had not been able to book those people, find those people, and punish those people. Secondly, when the sacrilege incidents were happening in 2015, there was a whole series of protests that happened across Punjab. And as part of the government's control to control those protests, 2 people were killed in police firing. So that was also held against the Sikh community, against the Akalis. Lastly, and I think the most significantly, was that the Dera Sacha Sauda chief, Gurmeet Ram Rahim, who has been excommunicated from the Sikh religion since 2007, when he donned the attire of the last Guru, Guru Gobind Singh Ji, and did one of his gathering meetings, is considered to be an enemy of the Sikhs, and the followers of the Dera and the Sikhs don't go well together. So there were clashes in 2007. There have been riots, and people have been killed. But since then, the Dera has not been. The Dera has been apologizing in one way or the other, but not directly or not openly. But the idea was to forgive the Dera. So the Akali Dal, especially Sukhbir Badal, is considered to have facilitated that apology, which came in 2015, and just after the sacrilege incidents had happened. And this was what people, what the rebel group has held against him, that apology should not have been facilitated by Sukhbir. And also, it was of course revoked after a few months, and also the way probably Sukhbir Badal tried to get the whole apology thing done through the Akal Takht. So even demeaning the Akal Takht, or at least usurping the power of the Akal Takht, becoming bigger than the Akal Takht itself. So these were the few 4 or 5 points that the complaint had. And following the complaint, then they summoned Sukhbir Badal. He appeared before the Akal Takht. He said, I have committed these mistakes, and I'm coming before you very humbly. And whatever punishment you give me, whatever you do, I'll be acceptable to me. But he made it a point to clarify that his decisions, whatever he had taken, were not his alone decisions, but the decisions of the entire party. After that, of course, they declared him a Tankhaiya on August 30th. And once you're declared a Tankhaiya, and Dr. Narang will tell us what the Tankhaiya concept is, basically somebody who's a sinner of the Sikh religion, and the Akal Takht has declared him a Tankhaiya. The Akal Takht Jathedar, along with the Jathedars of the 4 other Takhts of the Sikh religion, the 4 seats of authority. So they declared him a sinner of the Sikh religion, after which a punishment has to be given, which is called the Tankha. So once the punishment is given and you have atoned for your sins by going through that punishment, you have been deemed to have rid yourself of that sin. So he kept waiting for the punishment, and a lot of things happened in the middle, because a lot of allegations were raised by some alleged were made against the Jathedars themselves, and the Jathedars protested against why the Akali leaders are pushing them to take a decision or give the punishment. So that punishment finally came yesterday. It is a rather harsh punishment. The history, Dr. Narang has written the 100 years of history of the Akali Dal, and he would tell you that this is considered to be the fact that he has to sit in front of the gates of the Golden Temple as a guard. Originally, he was given the duty of cleaning the bathrooms, which you must have seen. Sanya would tell you that all the leaders were today cleaning the bathrooms outside the complex of the Golden Temple, and to then do the part and then wash the utensils. These are part of the harsh punishments that are given. Apart from that, but more importantly, punishments have been given earlier, though this is a very harsh punishment, is that the Akal Takht also very significantly said that the working of the Shiromani Akali Dal will now be overtaken by a 6-member committee, which is headed by Harjinder Singh Dhami, the SGPC president. So that is important, because that immediately goes beyond just the punishment and now taking over the working of a political party. What it really means and how it will pan out in the future, only time can tell. But right now, there is a lot of confusion. What the working committee, what is the functions of the working committee of the Akali Dal, what the new committee is going to do, because the new committee has also been tasked by the Akal Takht to start a full-fledged campaign to have more enrollment into the Akali Dal, to look for a new president, because Sukhbir Badal had resigned as president to the working committee. It was not acceptable. Yesterday, the Akal Takht said that Sukhbir's resignation should be accepted, which means he's been asked to leave the post of the president. So which means that they are going to have a new president. How this pans out, only we'll know in the coming days. Dr. Narang, this punishment, do you think ultimately now they have done the punishment, they have gone and, there have been visuals, he's sitting there like a humble person. How is it going to make a difference to the Shiromani Akali Dal politically? And number one, and to the Badals per se, you think people of Punjab, like the Akal Takht might forgive the Badals, but you think people of Punjab will have the same impact?
You think this is the real question? You see, if you go back to the last 60 years or so, say a post-independence Akali Dal situation, what has been happening is that in Akali Dal, the factionalism has been at the forefront all the times. And particularly after 1966, having gained Punjabi Suba, now they thought that it is a legitimate right for us to have power in Punjab. And this was a very legitimate feeling also. And they got it in the 1967 as a part of alliance. And therefore, every time they have been getting power in Punjab as a part of alliance. And very interestingly, in Punjab, unlike many other states, it has been a politics of 2 parties or 2 alliances, one led by Shiromani Akali Dal and other led by Congress. Always it has been so, either 2 parties, Akali Dal versus Congress, or 2 alliances. Okay, so in that situation, Akali Dal has been very much into the game of acquiring and retaining power. Now, within Akali Dal, there have been various factions always. For various reasons, I'm not going to detail. But if in Punjab, economic situation, caste, creed, class, so many things are there, and personal ambitions, which is a Punjabi dilemma, typical Sikhs or non-Sikhs, that power is very important for individual. So there has been. Now, within that factionalism, what Akalis have always been doing is whenever you are out of power, then make the use of the concept of Miri and Piri. Therefore, they create a situation that masses are behind you in the name of religion. And Punjab again is a very typical situation. You will find in Punjab, let me explain one more point, very important. In Punjab, there are two types of politics. One is what you call a secular or general politics in general. Second is Panthic politics. These are two parallel politics. One is common politics, which all political parties participate. Another is Panthic politics. Panthic politics revolves around SGPC, that the control of Shromani Gurdwara Prabandhak Committee, which in itself is very important in Punjab, which is called as state in state. So there are certain people, certain parties involved only in Panthic politics, and there are other parties which are involved only in secular politics. The other parties, to begin with, also tried to interfere in. For your kind of information, in 1950s, both Communist parties and Congress party, they contested the SGPC election, but they failed very bad. So they realized that Panthic people will not accept any other. They thought that 1920 to 25 agitation to reform Gurudwara was led by Akalis. No, that Akalis were different from today's SAD. So therefore, but there is this consciousness among Sikhs that Akalis have a legitimate right to control SGPC. So therefore, every faction who wants to enter Sikh politics uses the name of Akali Dal. Because of that, because Akalis are the legitimate inheritance of the SGPC. So therefore, one is that politics, another. Now somehow the SADs have merged the two, both Panthic politics as well as secular politics, and therefore they are always on crossroads. If they have to join coalition, so they have to do some economic, some democracy, other things also, and also take all communities along with them. And if they are not doing that, then they are not eligible for them. So whenever they are out of power, then they try to create Panthic unity. And Panthic unity is very difficult and very easy. You create emotions, it becomes easy. It is very difficult. But like any other community, Sikhs are also not a homogeneous community. Sikhs are also divided on the basis of profession, class, ideology, everything. So it's a divided community, like any other community. So only way out is create some sort of emotional situation. So always comes Panth in danger. Sikhs are being discriminated. Sikhs and all. So Akalis have been either Akalis as a whole, when they are out of power, they create this situation, or then when Akalis are in power, then the faction which is out of power, they create this situation. So it is in that context the present situation arises from 2017. अभी ये कल की बात नहीं है. This has started from 2017 elections. So that was a period which gave a typical time, because this desecration also was that part. But it was not only desecration. Again, desecration has been highlighted. It was primarily for 4 reasons at that time. One was it was a post-militancy Punjab. People were looking for a different type of politics in Punjab after 90s, 80s and 90s. So, but this Badal having come to twice given a chance, particularly in 2017 when Sukhbir took over the charge, it was a totally mismanagement. From 2012 to 27, it was a mismanagement as far as the administration is concerned. They could not do what the people were expecting from the new. Added to that was highest level of corruption in Punjab. So people were fed up with, and that corruption very much linked with the family of Badals. So therefore, people were very much against them, both. And third was that problem discretion. The people were looking that it is our government, but they thought maybe it's a BJP and Akali coalition, but they always it is our government. And in our government, discretion is what to talk of other things, even the highest level is not being discussed. So these were a combination of factors
Right.
which they lost election in 2027. But they could not improve it further. At that time, then another thing happened in Punjab. Rather than two parties, it became a three-party system. AAP came into that. And AAP made use of that situation, the failure of Akalis, and people's already dissatisfaction with the Congress. So the AAP tried to fill that vacuum. But somehow the Congress could not make use of that situation. AAP could not make use of that situation. And the Congress, which had totally been rejected by the people earlier because of their party role in 1984, 1980s, that was revived. So that you have to understand the situation. People go into secular politics and religious politics differently, though Akalis try to mingle them. In all SGPC election, it was clean sweep for the Akalis, and in non-SGPC election, Akalis keep on losing or gaining, losing or gaining. So from that period, it has been starting coming there because that Sukhbir Badal came in, and within Akalis, as I told you, faction, very senior leaders, they found what is it is happening. Where are we? Where are we? People like Torah, others, and all those types of things. Many factions. No, Dhinsa and all these people. Dhinsa was the right hand man of Badal. He was always thinking that I am the natural after Badal. But no, right his time, this Sukhbir was I almost announced that he is the higher apparent. So from that period, this situation has been going on. And culmination came in 2022 elections and final 24 elections. Then Akalis have totally been wiped out. And a person like Prakash Singh Badal, who has built his image as a national leader, got for the first time defeated in an assembly election. So to that level, Akalis came. So therefore, there was a hue and cry within Akali Dal, what is our future? And there they started dissidents, and that again involving Akal Takht, as they have been doing earlier also, to patch up their differences, to get a situation opening for themselves. And it is that context I'm saying that is neither an endak of Akali Dal nor an endakal of the Sukhbir Badal, etc. They have made use of the, I'm sorry to use the word, they have very tactically brought in, I don't know whether it's a mistake of Dhinsa, etc., to go to Akal Takht and giving others also a chance to make use of the Akal Takht, or say to feel some sort of a feedback from Akal Takht, etc. But this has given them an opportunity both to Akali Dal as well as to the Sukhbir's Badal, that here's another. Mind it, in all this, you are saying this harsh punishment. It's not at all harsh for them. It is very important punishment for them, because in Sikh concept, Simran, Seva, humility, all are recognized at a higher level. Now they say, such a great Seva we are doing. We have accepted humility with folded hands. We are sitting right outside the Gurdwara. Please watch us. So they are making use of this. They will project themselves as very humiliated, Sikh, and great. So they will ask for this, not they will repent it, not at all. Maybe at a private level, but at a public level, they are making use of this. They will definitely make use of this. See, they have all been saying, send us to jail, martyrdom. These are all great values as such as Sikh community is concerned. So this is not at all harsh from them. They have given an opportunity. Now it is for them how to make use of that. If they think that we have done punishment and again back to the common same politics for the sake of power, nothing doing. Because again, as I'm telling you, that still AAP is on probation in Punjab. So it is not only two-party system, it still is a four-party system, because Akali BJP alliance is also gone. So there are four parties in the struggle, and which Akalis have to face in a very difficult situation. But this punishment gives them an opportunity to rehabilitate them both to Badals as well as to the Akali Dal.
Yeah, Sanya, sorry, I know we were not able to ask you the question at that point, but you are at the spot. All action is taking place there. Could you tell us what you saw? What was the mood like for our viewers?
Yeah, Neelam, unfortunately, I'll have to be very brief because now I have a flight to catch. But
Sure.
very quickly, I think what Professor said right now, from the people who we spoke to, I'm not going to get into too much of what we've already seen on our screens through the day. But when we spoke to people, I think it totally what Professor was saying right now totally found echo in how people felt about the sort of spectacle that we witnessed today, because one thing that people kept reiterating was that this is not saza, this is seva. So we do not see this as a humiliation. In fact said that it humanizes this kind of subordination of political power to religious power, humanizes this leader in our eyes. So they kept saying that this in fact is a good thing in the eyes of the Sikh Samaj, and in general the modern divide between the church and the state, it doesn't exist in India anyway, but especially in Sikhism, where as Professor was saying and as Chitleen was also talking about, uh, a temporal power, political power, and religious power are quite enmeshed in each other, and that has the sanction of the people. So it's not seen as a wrong thing. So the fact that the Badals have been punished by the Akal Takht, it to people seems like the most legitimate way of humanizing the Badals, in fact.
One last question, Sanya, before you go. When you were at the spot, I mean, was it really crowded? Were there a lot of people trying to, catch a glimpse of him? What exactly was the mood?
Actually, it was not as one would have imagined. I imagined that there would be lots of dozens and dozens of people, but that wasn't the case. I think most people didn't even know that this is going to happen. In fact, in passing, you would hear people say, "Arey, uthe Sukhbir baitha hai," and stuff like that. But then when we spoke to them, they seemed to have some faint idea कि क्या हुआ है, and then they would say that we see this as a good thing. But were people stopping? Was there like a massive crowd? Not at all. But I think because the whole concept is so normalized for a tall political leader to be humbled down in this fashion by the religious authority, that people did not make such a big deal out of it.
Well, thank you so much. I know you have a flight to catch, but I would like to ask Mr. Narang one last question before Chitleen asks. Has the Akal Takht acted independently or under the influence of forces like the BJP, as was being alleged?
See, I don't think BJP, because BJP has nothing to do with this, neither to gain anything or not to lose anything. And the way the decision has come, it is in no way for or against BJP. So I don't feel that why people are saying that it is under BJP's influence. Yes, because Jhakhar has made a statement welcoming this, so that doesn't mean, and that doesn't mean anything. Only thing which I feel is that this time, this decision has been taken in a very articulated manner. The Akal Takht has not taken decision immediately after August. They have taken, I think, many people into confidence, not politically, but in a spiritual manner, in any manner. They have talked to, they have taken feedback, I think. Therefore, what they have done is, from their own side, they have given a very balanced view. But as I against you, not stopping Akalis from their politics. Mind it. Again, you have to read between lines. They have given 6 months. Not debarred Sukhbir Singh Badal from contesting elections again. Mind it. Who is the chairman of the 6 members committee? SGPC president. Who is considered to be very close to the Sukhbir Badal and Badal family. So therefore, what is for BJP in that? Only thing, if Sukhbir comes again something else, or Akali Dal, so it's some possibility of BJP Akali alliance, which Akalis are also looking for. Everyone is looking for an opportunity because they know in Punjab neither Akalis nor BJP can come to power independently so easily. Everything is possible in politics. Nothing is so impossible, but not very easily. So they may be looking for that opportunity, but in this particular case, I don't say anything BJP in preference. Yes, as I told you, within Akali Dal, the question is whether it was a mistake by the Dhinsa group to go to the Akal Takht And they thought that perhaps they knowing well that what is Akal Takht, who are the Jathedars and all that, they will punish him and they will not take any action on you. I don't know. But anyhow, the Akali Dal, and as Sanya very well said, that both the community has accepted, state has accepted this fusion of politics and religion, though we as liberals may reject it, but this right up to Supreme Court, this has been accepted. So therefore, it is a legitimate action by the Akal Takht, whether we like or may not like it. As Chitleen has written in her piece itself, many times it has been used, misused, etc., etc. Let us not go into that debate if that is the history. But just an example, 1994 itself, Akal Takht, not in a hukamnama, but they gave an direction to join, all Akali Dal join. Prakash Singh Badal did not join. 1995, when Badal became popular, he himself asked Akal Takht indirectly to give a call, and they all united under his. First, Akal Takht created Akali Dal, united Amritsar under the leadership of Simranjit Singh Mann, 1994, which Badal didn't join. In 1995, Akal Takht created United Akali Dal with President Prakash Singh Badal. All those who had gone with Amrinder Singh came back to Prakash Singh Badal. So this is a very complex type of politics where religion is used. So therefore, I don't feel there's any pressure from outside. This is an internal factional politics, and Akal Takht has given them an opportunity. Then you can close your factions. But again, tomorrow they'll again come out.
Yes, Chitleen, you wanted to ask before we end.
Yeah, Dr. Narang, I want to ask two questions. One, we saw since now we have, of course, Akal Takht has a long history of doling out punishments and declaring people tankhaiya. There have been many scholars, journalists, apart from religious leaders who have been on the receiving end of the Akal Takht. My question is, procedurally, yesterday, it was, of course, everything was being watched live on television. Procedurally, normally the Jathedars are standing, on the ramparts of the Akal Takht building, and the person who's to be given the saza or the tankha is sitting or standing below. They were asking these questions, so like almost as if like in a court of law, charges have been framed that we are asking you one question and you have to reply only in a yes or no. They were not even accepting any kind of explanation. So procedurally, is this the normal procedure, or there is no procedure and anything can be?
To my understanding, there's no set procedure. There's no set procedure because this actually hukamnamas had started from Maharaja Ranjit Singh period. Earlier, during Sikh period itself, there was nothing like that because their Sikh was a community and they were always say in the field and all those types. This was, and for the first time, it was primarily. So there is no such procedure. Only thing is that there has been debates going on this, that what should be procedure, what should be should it be very open, secret, closed door, etc. All these types of things have been there. Somehow, from 1980, as I told you, there has been so much internal problems within the Sikh politics, not only Akali politics, that who is the Jathedar of Akal Takht? One is appointed by the SGPC. Who is SGPC? Again, controlled by a political party. Who is political party? Controlled by certain individuals. So allegations that Akal Takht Jathedar is an appointee of SGPC and can also be removed at will. It's not that a fixed term, 5 years, etc. So if SGPC is not satisfied with the working of Jathedar Akal Takht or other Jathedars, no, what is he working? So politically, right or wrong? So therefore, this has been a problem created. Second, during a thesis, everybody appointed Akal Takht Jathedar. And SGPC directly or indirectly accepted that Jathedar. Not SGP appointed, as you know. These various these meetings were held, what you call Sarbat Khalsa, and in that Akal Takht Jathedar were appointed. So can that Jathedar take a decision or SGPC decision? So these types of controversies have been going on. And therefore, just you gave the example of this Ram Rahim. That was a naked abuse of power by the Akali Dal, calling Jathedars to their residence and asking them to pardon him. And for the first time in Akal Takht history, a person was given pardon even without appearing before them. So people thought that it is an utter misuse or abuse of the situation of Akal Takht. Therefore, I think this time what Akal Takht therefore has done, they have tried to remove those types of allegations. That is why they had taken a public stand, sitting them, asking them questions directly, and asking simply no explanation, say yes or no, which is very important. You accept or no? No, otherwise I explain. No, sir, I did it. So therefore, they have tried to establish a credibility of the Akal Takht. This, I think, on the part of Akal Takht, it is a good point because it gives a message. And similarly, those who have accepted that in humanity, but no, what is the back of this? I don't know. Whether SGP itself has helped them that you feel free or establishment of, because the credibility of Akal Takht has been, you yourself said, and many cases you have not quoted, people have not followed the directions given by the Akal Takht and they are moving. And Akal Takhts have been giving all types of direction. इस दिन को मना लो, इस दिन को ना मना लो, ये कपड़े पहन लो, ये नया पहन लो. So they have. So I think this decision establishes the credibility of Akal Takht to some extent. So procedures are not, that is important.
A very brief response on the question about that the Shiromani Akali Dal has always stood for a moderate kind of Sikh leadership or Sikh community given a leadership of the moderate kinds. While there are some now talks about the radical element, resurfacing in Punjab or a revival of the radical element, you think if the Akali Dal is weakened beyond a point, so that will leave the field open for radical politics to make a comeback?
Chitleen, field is always open for radicals. You cannot stop anyone. Anybody sitting can say, I want Khalistan. And in a country like India, asking 100 people to back you, 1,000 people to back you, there's no problem. People come as a tamashbin also. And then you say they are all over supporters. That's not a problem. The issue is that from all elections from 97 onwards have given one hint very clearly that people of Punjab are fed up with the radical politics. Politics in the sense. Within Akali Dal, within Sikh politics, maybe. But as a general, both Sikhs and Hindus, Jats, non-Jats, everyone, I think personally, they have said no more. Therefore, all election results you will find. Now, in the last elections, Akali Dal did use Gurdwaras enormously. 22 assembly and 24, they did, particularly Kisan agitation and all that. But people didn't go with that. So the people are fed up and they have seen the Punjab ruined till today because of that politics. So radicals will always be there. And Akali Dal also knows it very well. Yes, as I told you, that to keep people on their back end call, radical slogans, not radicalism, will go on. They will, as the discretion has been the main issue now. All issues have been set aside. But that's not the real issue. For the masses as a general. For political purposes, spiritual fight, but for people, as I told you, you see the issues in last 4 elections. It is mismanagement, it is misadministration, it is corruption, which has given for. Everyone in Punjab, you know better than me. Aap Punjab mein chale jaye. Every business is Badal's family. Every bus service is their family. People like that. And the blame is on my. So therefore, I don't think radicalism, but you don't know. As you very well say, you have to keep your fingers crossed. Anything in politics is possible. But my own sense is that people of Punjab, and also there is also, keep in mind, there are lots of Sikhs out of Punjab. They never want to be victims of a politics which is happening in Punjab. So they keep on pressurizing them that please, for God's sake, be careful. But as I told you, you can never stop anyone personally, 100 people to... Now, what happened last election? The Amarjit jeet gaya, so what happened? It's not because of his radicalism, it's so many other reasons. People are fed up with, again, both Congress and AAP, so they thought, let him come in. But what has happened after that? People are not prepared for it. A new generation has come. उनके लिए भैया दुनिया बहुत बड़ी है, उनके लिए कनाडा जाना ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है, रेडिकलिज्म ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है.
Right, right. Thank you so much, Dr. Narang. Thank you, Chitleen. Sorry, I had to cut you short. It's just that
No, no, no.
we're running out of time. Thank you so much for your views and for explaining this entire complex issue, in such simpler terms. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.